So thank you so much for joining us, families and friends of UC. I'm Whitney White from Parent and Family Programs. My counterpart, Diamond Montgomery, is with us as well. She's giving a wave there. Thanks so much for joining us for this event this week. UC is celebrating First Generation Student Week all week with tons of programming and exciting fun things going on to celebrate our first generation students. This is part of that series. All are welcome to join us for this event. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about UC and a lot of different aspects that are interesting for families and things that they're often thinking about as they're getting ready to attend UC, and things that are even common questions once you get started. So everything from, what is it like to be a student? How do students get registered for classes? Who helps them figure out what to do? What is the Gen 1 program? What's it like to be a first generation college student? And finances are also a big one for families. How do you pay for college? What kind of resources do we have to help your student learn how to budget, how to manage credit cards, all kinds of things like that. So we're going to be talking about that today. Before we get started kind of on all our great programs, I'm just going to ask all of our panelists to do a quick intro. We have lots of great staff with us today, as well as students, and we're so excited that you'll get to meet them and learn more about what they do here at UC. So I'll just get started on the way I see us in the list. So Kelly Schiller, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Kelly Schiller, and I have been at UC 9 years. I am an advisor. I work in the Center for Exploratory Studies.
All right, and Amber Conley.
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Amber Conley. I am the Assistant Director of the Gen 1 program at UC and Impact House. I've been a part of the university now for about 4 years. I'm what we call here a double Bearcat, so both of my degrees are from UC. I'm a first generation college student, and we'll talk a little bit more about our program and how it supports first gen students. So thank you guys so much for joining.
Thanks, Amber. And Brandon Elliott, also from Gen 1.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thanks for being here. I am Brandon Elliott. I am the educational advisor at the Gen 1 Impact House. I've been at UC for a year and a half now, working in this department, but I've been around UC almost my whole life. But again, welcome, and I'm part of Gen 1.
Thanks, Brandon. And Carrington Rainey?
Hello, everyone. My name is Carrington Rainey, and I'm a second-year sociology major, and I'm in the Gen 1 program.
Thank you. And Noah Oki.
Hey, everyone. My name is Noah Oki. I'm a fourth year here at the university studying IT cybersecurity, and I'm also a Gen 1 student.
Thank you so much. And Sydney Myman.
Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Sydney Myman, and I have been with the university as a staff person for a little over 5 years. My role at the university is within our OneStop Student Service Center, and basically what I do is talk to students about money. So we're going to dive a little deeper into that when we get to that here in a little bit, but just to kind of put names with faces, I'm the money person on the call today.
Thanks, Sydney. And last but certainly not least, my partner in family support, Diamond Montgomery.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Diamond Montgomery. I currently serve as the program manager for the Parent and Family Office. I'm originally from Dayton, Ohio. As Amber said, I'm a double graduate from the university. I'm just really excited that you all were able to join the call today. So I hope that you all learned some exciting and new information.
Thank you. All right, so what we're going to do today is have everyone share a little bit about what they do, speak for 5 to 10 minutes, whatever they need to kind of really give you an overview of the support that their office provides for students here at UC and some of the information that you'll need to know kind of in the early stages of your Bearcat family experience. So we will get started with Gen 1, if that's all right. So I'll turn it over to Amber and Brandon and Carrington and Noah.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and just tell you a little bit about the Gen 1 program in Impact House. So this call is kind of tailored around supporting first generation college students because This is the campaign for first generation college students celebrated nationwide, and UC is kind of taking it campus wide here to celebrate and spread awareness and support first gen students. So a little bit about our program. The Gen 1 program was founded in 2008. So we are 13 years into our cohort, so we're in cohort 13 now. After that, we had the Gen 1 program was created to support first generation and Pell eligible students. So students that neither their parents or grandparents completed a 4-year degree within 6 years of high school graduation. So that's kind of the standard that we use to define what is first generation. So we have students that say, oh, you know, I didn't realize that I was first generation college student until we tell them that definition, and they're like, okay, well, my mom started college but didn't finish, or my dad went to a tech school, or you know, got an associate's degree and that kind of thing. So if they didn't complete a 4-year degree within 6 years of high school graduation, we consider those students first gen college students. So that the Gen 1 program was then founded to support students like that who are first generation and Pell eligible. And Pell eligible is an identification that appears on students' FAFSA. So when they go and complete their, you know, federal financial aid report, that'll come up and say if they are Pell eligible or not. And for those who just don't quite understand what that might mean in this moment, it just really means they have an income that falls within, you know, a certain range according to the federal government. So then, you know, it's the first living learning community in the nation. So we were founded being the first, and we're excited about that. In 2016 or 2018, sorry, 2018, we founded Impact House, which is not only supporting just students in the Gen 1 program, but it's also used to support other first generation underrepresented or low-income students as well. And so, you know, Impact House, you can look at it as being the big umbrella, and the Gen 1 program is one of the programs that physically live within Impact House. And so in order, you know, sometimes we have students who apply to the Gen 1 program and they don't get in, and then they still opt into living in Impact House because then they can take advantage of any of the support. You know, we try to instill, you know, success in academics, personal life, and social life. So we want to set them up to be able to succeed academically, but also developing personal life skills that might help beyond college. So for example, we have cooking classes and sewing classes, and we have a fitness group, Be Well Impact House. And so trying to build community around those types of areas. And then social is just encouraging them to network and meet people like-minded and have a close relationship with their Gen 1 advisor or other mentors and things like that. So yeah, the Gen 1 program, we operate, so now that's Impact House as a whole. It can be a little confusing, so I'm trying to kind of make it very clear. And within that is the Gen 1 program, like I said. And so the biggest differentiator here is that the Gen 1 program comes with a scholarship. And so students apply, there's an application process, and then they're selected to be a part of the Gen 1 program, and that's just the biggest difference. And so our Gen 1 program operates on the foundation of 4 pillars. So live, learn, give, and earn. And so, I mean, they're kind of exactly what they sound like. Live is anything, life skills like we talked about. Learn is going to be any programs or initiatives that help with creating academic success. Give is we require our students to do 10 hours of community service every semester, as well as give back to the Gen 1 program a little bit. And then earn is our initiatives kind of tailored around how we can get them to network more, you know, develop a mentor list, resume workshops, cover letter workshops, things like that, getting internships and co-ops and stuff like that. So, you know, that's kind of how we're built as far as, you know, any programs and initiatives that we create has to fall within those pillars. So that's kind of a little bit about our program. We can, you know, the application process is, you know, if you're interested in that, you apply to the program via first you got to do the UC Common App. So any students that are interested in the Gen 1 program have to do the UC Common App, which can be found on just uc.edu there. Once students have completed that, they go to our website, the Gen 1 website, and complete the UC Gen 1 application, which is really takes about 3 minutes to do. It's very, very short because we pull all of the information from their Common App. So that way they don't have to do all of that again. So filling out the Gen 1 application is really just alerting us to say they're interested in the program, and then we pull all their information from the Common App. So thank you. I think it's Whitney dropping the links in, or Diamond. So the application process link is in there. Impact House Gen 1 link is in there. Last year we had about 250 applicants. We then select 50 to do in-person interviews, and then we made 22 offers. So it's pretty competitive. And this year our application is due December 1st, which is a little bit earlier than it has been in the past, but we do already have 54 applications. So we have, a little less than a month left to go, but people are applying. And yeah, so just to give you some data on the Gen 1 program, nationwide, about 49% of continuing generation students graduate within 6 years. So continuing generation just means one or both of your parents went and got a 4-year degree within 6 years of high school graduation. So out of 2 students who go to it, one of those is going to complete. Then about 20% of first generation completes. So for about half of those who have parents who went to college, about 20% of students who are first generation complete college within 6 years. And then if you put the Pell eligible filter on that number, it's 11%. So about 1 in 10 first generation Pell eligible students complete a 4-year degree within 6 years of high school graduation nationwide. It's 11%. In the Gen 1 program, our percentage is 76%. So, we've found that the biggest reason why is living in the house. That's the, one of the factors partnered with the success. The biggest factors is actually living in Impact House. So, yeah, you can, the data's there, our students will speak a little bit about it, but Brandon, did I miss anything? Or do you have anything you want to add?
You did not. You always covered very well, so I appreciate you. But yeah, including with that, our retention rate is very high as well. So, that first year, a lot of students tend to, lose themselves some kind of way and don't return back to college. But in our program, nationwide, we'll say nationwide is about 70% to have that first year retention. In our program, we're at like 90%. So we're doing very well returning our students back to the campus, especially.
Yeah, and in the past, we've been closer to 100% first year retention. Obviously when you have a small cohort that of 22 and you have one person that doesn't stay from their first year, that drops it significantly. But, just even last year and the year before, we've had 100% retention rate. So, well, I would say the year before last year that we measured. But yeah, so I will introduce Noah and Carrington. So a part of the, those students who are in the Gen 1 program have an opportunity to apply to be an ambassador of the Gen 1 program. We're now in our 2nd year of that, so it's relatively new. But one of the something that we're being very intentional about is only selecting those very serious about the program and who want to really demonstrate, significant leadership development. And so it's a pretty competitive program to be a part of, the Alpha Ambassadors, but you have 2 of our leaders in the program on the call today, Carrington and Noah. So Carrington, why don't you start us off, and Noah can follow your lead. Does that sound good? I think Carrington's even going to show her dorm room too for some of the parents that might be interested.
Yeah, you want to see it now?
Well, it's up to you. So yeah, you can, if that's what you want to do.
Okay, I'm gonna show y'all my room, and then I'm gonna talk about my experience. Okay, wait. All right. I got my computer in my hand. So this is my room. I'm also an RA. So, you know. Can y'all see this? Am I moving too fast?
You're moving a little fast, yeah, because it's like lagging a little bit.
Okay. So, here's the closet. Got some stuff on the floor. Don't look at that. My desk. See that there? I apologize for the quality.
So your room is one of the single style rooms?
Yes. Last year I was in a double, and then I can show y'all, like, I'm gonna open my door and I share it with another suite mate, and that's her room. And then we have the bathroom that we share. Let's see that. Let's see that. It's very clean. Is that okay? Did y'all see that?
Yeah, that was great.
Okay, great. my computer be messing up. Yeah, so last year I had a double, which was pretty big. We have some really nice dorms. I can say that's one thing I love about the Impact House. But being a part of Gen 1 has been an amazing experience so far. So I'm gonna just talk about, like, when I first joined, I was so nervous. I was so scared. So my mother never went to college before, so just the idea of having to rely solely on my knowledge going into college, it was very scary. I had, advisors from like high school and stuff, but still, like, they wouldn't like follow me to college. So once I got into the Gen 1 program, I was really excited because I received my mentor over the summer, and I didn't register for classes. I knew nothing about my financial aid, and she took me aside, checked up on me during the summer, and she helped me get registered for classes, helped me introduce myself to my academic advisors and my professors, making sure that I'm comfortable. Then we have Welcome Week is when we move in before, like, the rest of the students move into campus. So this is like a week before classes. And so that's just to get, acquainted with the university and learn about the different programs and opportunities that we have on campus, which also was very beneficial to me. Even though I'm from Cincinnati, I knew nothing about UC at all. So I didn't know, like, I'm in the honors program now, in the Mcnair prep program. Those programs I did not think I could get into, honestly, if we're going to be real. It just seemed so surreal and so out of touch. But Gen 1 bring these programs in to, like, educate us and stuff, basically, so we know that it's in our range, and that, graduation is in our range as well, and we can reach that. Miss Amber was talking about the retention rates, which is definitely something that I was worried about with myself, because I'm like, I can start it, but can I, like, finish it? Just because I know so many people that went, but they did not finish. And they basically, like she said, like, they put in a plan so that it helps us graduate. We have the housing, we have the Impact House, we have the housing scholarship, free meal plan your first year. We also have advisors to stay up on our academics with us, a mentor coming into the program to also check up on us. We do midterm reports, once again, checking in on our grades. And also, for me, the biggest thing was my catalyst bill, and knowing, how scholarships are applied, and everything. Because also I was also afraid if I could even afford it, but then I found out I was Pell eligible, and then I got the CPG Cincinnati Pride Grant, and it just all started to make more sense, and I became more comfortable, and then in that I became more confident, and so now I'm excelling, and I feel like I'm in the groove now. At first it was very scary, but the support system, it definitely was great. And then coming in with my cohort, experiencing, we all are first generation, so we all can relate to one another, which was another thing. Like me and my roommate, we could discuss, the scary parts about being first generation, and like, will we have enough money and all that stuff. So just having that group, yeah, that's it. And then I'll jump back in if I think of anything else. But
Carrington,
is that,
oh, I'm sorry.
oh, you're good.
Thank you for sharing that. I wanted to ask you, you mentioned that you're part of the Mcnair program.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about what that is? I'm not sure that families will be familiar with it.
Yes. So the Mcnair Prep program is a program focused on helping students get research opportunities and interested in graduate school. So as of right now, I've been paired with a faculty/researcher in medical sociology, because I'm a second-year sociology major. And so I'm working with her with clinics and all that stuff, and like trying to get publication, basically a resume builder. So yeah, and that's like in my second year. So I'm like pretty excited about that.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate that. All right. Noah?
Hey everyone. Trying to go off, So yeah, my name is Noah. I'm currently a fourth year IT cybersecurity major here at UC. I'm also in the IT accelerated master's program, so I'll be getting my master's as well. And I'm also serving as a combat engineer in the military. So that's just a little bit about me. But just kind of getting an overview of like at least my experience with Gen 1, or just how I feel about Gen 1. I think overall it's a really, really great program. Even though they can only accept about 10% of all applicants, which is at times is kind of sad, but eventually the program will grow. I think overall the Gen 1 program is a really great program. It offers the amount of resources and opportunities that the program actually allows and gives out. It's really amazing. I got my first co-op through a networking with the director, Suzette Combs. So without her, I probably wouldn't have got my first co-op, which has now led me to other places in employment, such as Cincinnati Bell and an offer from Eli Lilly. So it's just the amount of support that Gen 1 gives that really makes the program really strong, at least what I feel like, especially the family aspect of it. You come in here with a cohort. You don't come here as an individual. You come here as a family, essentially. So coming in with that cohort, I'm cohort 10. So having that, I've been with them since the beginning, and now they're about to graduate. We're all about to graduate the same year. It's kind of that support system where you're struggling, but you can always fall back on one of your friends or somebody in your, cohort for family. So that's one of the biggest things for me about Gen 1. Again, the scholarship is the scholarship does provide you with half cost of living here at Stratford, and it's, at least for me, didn't really make a big impact, or I didn't see the impact of that until I really got older, where living on campus is a different environment than being home. And something I've learned is it's all about the environment. If you're at home, depending on your living situation, you may not have the best living situation. It might be noisy and loud, or you just don't have the adequate resources to actually do the homework, which then in turn, discourage you from doing assignments, and then you'll just drop out. Here, being on campus and having the ability to have, simple things like free Wi-Fi, fast Wi-Fi, especially during times like this, where if you don't have Wi-Fi, you're really at a disadvantage, especially, You hear stories about CPS not having high enough enrollment because of families not having Wi-Fi. So just being on campus in general is like a great, itself is a great environment and resource to have, especially being just a student in general. And I think that's a really big thing that Gen 1 kind of offers. Other than that, there's a lot more. I just can't think of it. Yeah, it's on top of my tongue, but I just can't think about it right now. But those are probably the main points that I could probably just like talk about, just Gen 1 in general.
Thanks, Noah. We really appreciate both of you giving us a little bit of your time today and sharing your story and your experience. It is really helpful as families are thinking about their students coming to UC. So thank you so much. And you all have accomplished so much. It's really awesome. All right, so we're going to move over to our next area, and then we'll come back to the questions after we've gotten through each of our areas. So we'll go over to Kelly Schiller. She's going to talk to us a little bit about the academic side of things, advising, registration, that kind of thing here at UC.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks, everyone. As I mentioned, my name is Kelly Schiller. I am an advisor here at UC, and I've been at UC on staff for 9 years. My connection to UC is I got my master's at UC, so I am a graduate, and I graduated from the College of Education and Human Services with my master's in mental health counseling and school counseling. Before that, I was a high school teacher and a school counselor before I moved into higher education. I was a first-generation college student, even though at the time, I don't think that there was a term for that or even a word for it. There were no resources. Neither of my parents had the opportunity to go to college. I know my mom graduated from high school. I believe that my dad went to like a high school trade school, but I'm not exactly sure. But neither of them got to go to college. So I was a first gen student, even though I didn't actually know that I was. And it did, I can really relate to, what the students here have said. It was very overwhelming for me. It was very difficult to navigate that process with no support. And so it's really reassuring and refreshing to know that first gen students at UC have that support and that mentorship. I think that's really, really great. After my work in secondary education, I came to higher ed 9 years ago and came to UC. And so my job now is really as a support to students in academic advising. My role, for the first 5 years that I worked at UC, I was an advisor for those students who had a declared major. So students that came to UC and knew what they wanted to major in if they were in the College of Arts and Sciences, we were their advisor. I always tell students that probably the closest thing that we are to something that they recognize is like a high school guidance counselor, but we have some other roles and different functions than a high school guidance counselor does, but that would be similar, I would think, to what a student would recognize. If a student comes to UC and they have a declared major, that is, they know what they want to major in, you are assigned an advisor during the orientation just before you start school in the fall. And that is true in exploratory as well, but I'll get to that in a second. And that advisor in a declared major will stay with that student all the way through from orientation until graduation. After 5 years, I moved my advising to the Center for Exploratory Studies. And we advise students, really 3 different kinds of students. One is a student who graduates from high school and knows they want to attend college, but they're unsure about their major. They may not know exactly what they want to major in, or even know what's really available to them as a major. And so we help them on that path to find their best fit major. You know, what is something that I'm good at? Where are my strengths? Where are my interests? And we help them find a major based on conversations with them. We have a class called Discovering UC where they're kind of exposed and shown different paths and different majors. The second kind of student that we work with in advising and exploratory is a student who may be at UC and is in a major, but decides for whatever reason they want to change their major. It's not their best fit. And so we help them make that transition to a new major that is a better fit for them. And the third kind of student that we advise is a student who may have not applied to a selective major, or they may have applied to that selective major and not been directly admitted. And so if they want to continue to work towards that, we help them work towards that best or that selective major. So we really have two kinds of advisors. We have advisors that work with students who have a declared, you know, major that they're working towards, and we also have advisors in exploratory that help students work towards their best fit or a selective major. Our role is very student focused. Pretty much our sole function, aside from teaching the Discovering UC class, is to meet and talk with students about their goals, their hopes, their dreams, their aspirations, their strengths, and help them get to the finish line. I know Carrington was talking about that, like, you know, I can start this, but can I really finish it? You know, can I do this and see it through to the end? And that's exactly what we do. We are cheerleaders and support systems for the students at all times. In declared, like I mentioned, that advisor stays with that student the entire way from orientation to graduation. For us, I mean, the good and the bad part of our job is that we are their advisor until they get to their major. So at some point we have to let them go, and we hand them to an advisor in the college that they're working towards. But we stay with them until they get to that goal. So to answer the question of what we do, we help them figure out the prerequisites needed for a major, the GPA that's needed for the major. At times we help them discover what their best fit major is, what is even out there. I mean, most students, I mean, I know this is true for me. When I was in high school, I didn't know what anthropology was. I didn't know what sociology was. Those were never classes that I took in high school. There was a million things out there that I didn't even know existed or that were possible for me. And so we try to, you know, open that door up for students and let them know, you know, what's out there. You know, what is digital media? That might not be something that you knew was a thing when you were in high school, or cybersecurity. So I know that's a big part of our job too, is just to kind of open things up for students and let them know what's out there and what's possible for them. We mandate our advising, so that kind of really means, you know, we make you come in to see us. And we open up students' terms. We help them in orientation during that summer before classes start, craft the best schedule for them. If they don't know what they want to do, we have, you know, a schedule that has, you know, gen eds, things that they might be interested in. So if they come and they say, I don't know exactly what I want to do, but I think I might want to look at information technology, we'll put them in a very foundational IT class to like open that up and let them know what that is, and then take some other IT classes. I I guess advice that I would have for students is to get to know your advisor. They are there for you. The more we mandate advising, but we tell the students anytime you want to come in to see us or email us or, now do WebEx or Teams or Zoom, we totally invite that. The more we see you, the more you get to know us and the more we get to know you. So utilize that resource. I would say a lot of like what Carrington said too, just making those connections with professors and different resources on campus is huge, because they can help introduce you to things that you didn't know were a possibility for you. I would say our big role, the student's role is to seek us out. We do make you come, like you can't register without us a couple times a year, but we also want to get to know you. We don't want that to be our only function as the person that unlocks your term so you can register. We really do want to get to know who you are and what you are looking for, and, what are your dreams? What are your goals? What are your expectations? What do you want from your UC experience? And our role is to, help you unlock that and find it. So, I'm happy to answer any questions. If people on this chat would like to reach out to me, I'm sure that we can provide my email to you. If I can answer more questions just about advising in general, I'm happy to do that. I know my team, all of us, we love advising students. It's a joy for us to see a student reach their goals, to achieve something, to be the first in their family to go to college. I know from experience is a really big deal. I tell students all the time, it's the one thing that people can never take from you. Once you've done this, it's a real achievement. And, our job is to help students make that come true.
Thanks, Kelly. One question that I was going to ask you, we often will hear from families, aside from reaching out when the student needs support and that it's okay to do that, you're not bothering the advisor. What should they do to prepare to come meet with you? Like, what can help them get the most out of that time with you?
When they get to us, they're assigned to us by the admissions process. If that's what you're asking. Is that what you're asking? How they get to us initially? Or
like if they're coming to you for the required appointment,
okay.
Maybe we're coming into registering for classes or something. What should the student do to come make the most of that time with you? Because something we'll hear a lot is the student will show up and they haven't really thought about what they're going to talk about, or they haven't looked at what classes they might take. So what can they do to come better prepared for that session?
I would say give some time thinking about what are your strengths. I think that's a question that I don't remember one person asking me before I went to college. What are you good at? What do you enjoy? What are you doing when you feel the most alive or the most joyful? And that's a really good starting place, to think about your strengths. A lot of times I know students think about what they, don't do well at. I was very scared coming into college because I was not a very good math student. And I didn't know that there were a lot of things that you could do, even if you weren't particularly good at math. So I would say that, think about what you're good at. Be prepared to ask questions. I would say just being open to asking questions. Be open to, I would also say take classes that you've never taken before. Like I said, I didn't know what sociology was. So be open to suggestions. to take things and that you've not taken before. So you may have had, I mean, you obviously had history in high school, but maybe there's aspects of history like women in history or minorities in history. Take classes like that, you know, and be open to suggestions and taking things that you never thought about before. Does that help at all?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, so we're going to move over to Sydney Myman, who heads up UC's money management team, but also works within the UC OneStop, which I'm sure she's going to tell you all about. So thank you, Sydney.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. So like Whitney said, my name's Sydney. I work in our OneStop Student Service Center. For people who aren't UC peeps already, nobody has any idea what in the world that means. So I'll tell you. So we do a little bit of some kind of registration and records type questions. Generally speaking, we'll have you speak with your academic advisor about those things. But really where we come into play is with regard to money related questions. So student billing, student financial aid, the FAFSA, student loans, grants, how do I get more money? How do I manage the money that I have? All those kinds of things. So we really serve as the customer service or the place where you come to ask questions for the Office of the Bursar, which is basically student account, student billing, the Office of Financial Aid, which is basically all things related to financial aid, the FAFSA grants, loans, federal work study, parent loans, stuff like that, and the Office of the Registrar, which is student records and, like I said, some registration related matters. The fourth pillar that really lives within our office is that financial literacy or money management. So our hope as a department is not just to tell you how to go about taking a loan, but to really talk you through that process and say, look, did you know you have all these other opportunities to apply for scholarships and these grants that you might be eligible for, and really how important it is to get good grades and to study hard so you can be eligible for that free money so that you're borrowing the least amount of debt as possible. We know that college is expensive. We don't want to shy away from that conversation, but we want to make sure that you're armed with the most information to graduate with the least amount of debt as possible. One big thing, and I know Kelly mentioned kind of her advice or her takeaway for a student, the big thing for my area is to really make sure you're meeting all of those deadlines and you're getting good grades. So you don't want to miss out on free money for a scholarship or some kind of grant or something simply because you missed that deadline by a few days. So the big thing is for us, we try to make it as easy as possible to get the reminders. We post a lot of those like on our social media and things like that on our website. We partner with, parent family programs to make sure that this information is out not only to students, but that our families are seeing it as well. So yeah, that's kind of the spiel on what we do and what my area does. I mean, we can dive deeper and do a whole session about credit cards if you want to talk about credit cards, but that's what we're here to do, is kind of support you in all of those areas. I know Whitney is dropping in our contact information. Our website has a lot of good resources there on all of those topics, and I'm happy to chat one-on-one. I know money is funny and it can kind of be a touchy subject to share your personal information and questions, but if you do have anything that you want just kind of general information answered or questions like that, but that's really kind of what we're here to do. So yeah, was there anything I didn't cover? Or I know, Whitney, we're going to go into questions, but if there's anything I didn't cover that you want me to?
No, I think that was good. I wanted to mention that I dropped the money management link into the chat, and that there's a great presentation from Sydney on that page about money management. So that's something that you might take a look at or encourage your student to watch it as well. So just wanted to.
Yeah, we try to make it fun. This money stuff can be, kind of heavy. So we try to make it as fun as we can.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Okay, so we'll go to questions. So I want to go back to Noah and Carrington. Could you all talk a little bit about some of your favorite parts of being a UC student? Definitely, it's clear that you love Gen 1, and it's absolutely an amazing program, so that doesn't surprise us at all. But, what are some of the things you like the most about UC? And that could be, whatever. It could be, resources that are really helpful to you, different things you've gotten involved in, whatever you want to share.
I can go first. I think for me, at least being an IT major, the biggest thing that's the best resource that UC provides, like just the best thing I like is the co-op program. I think like the co-op program is just excellent, like the best program I've seen. It really, it's one of those things where getting experience before you actually get to like the real world or like before you graduate is really, really important for certain majors, at least for us IT majors, getting that previous experience before leaving the doors and actually having a job opportunity already outside the door when you leave. It's also just a great overall future preparation, or just it's a great experience overall. So I think that's like my biggest thing about UC is just the co-op program is amazing. I think I think also like the little like just I guess the general resources that UC provides, um, and those kind of like little things from like OneStop, which is it's maybe little, but like there's really really great resources that people kind of take for granted for. So I guess just for me overall, it's just the little things. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have.
I agree with Noah with the co-op opportunities and the internships. I don't know if I just had really good luck so far, but I feel like every time I reach out to a faculty member, they're always like really helpful, and they want me to like learn from them. Basically, like when for my research that I'm in now, like everybody that I emailed, all the faculty members, they emailed me back like that. It was like, yes, of course. And we set up meetings and all that stuff. So I just feel like the staff here is really helpful in my opinion. And that's like every place I've been. That's also like the Learning Commons, which I love, by the way, which is the tutoring center. Um, I work there as well, and the staff there is great. And we have, the tables that we could just go into and like get some help. Everything's virtual now, of course, but when the campus was, alive, you could just walk in there and people would just be so helpful. And that was the main thing. I was just scared about you always hear about like people stepping on each other's toes to get ahead, and just being really like nasty and rude to each other. But I have not had that experience at all. I feel like everybody is just so helpful, and like it's the little things like Noah said, and that makes the experience great. Also, I would just say the events, Campus Link, all the events that we have here on campus, and how even though it's virtual, we still have so many events that are popping out, and nobody has really stopped. They're still trying to push out their message. And once again, is no like clicks and stuff. If you interested in something, like I was interested in student government, so I'm like, they said, yeah, just call us up and I'll, talk to you. And it was like that. Of course, you have to put in some work, not saying everything's that easy, but it's easy to communicate with people here. So that's so great.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you all tell us, like, as a student, what your family support system, kind of means to you? Because oftentimes when you hear about like first generation students, or even for our office, we often use the term like when a student goes to college, like their whole family goes to college. So like, what's the difference in that? What is your family, or whatever, family means to you? What does that support system mean to you?
You can go. Yeah, you can go, Carrington.
No, you can go, Noah. I'm still.
I guess what families meet like, so I guess for my situation personally, like my mom was amazing. She's done everything in the world for me. But once I got to college, I wasn't, so my mother did everything for me. She's done the world for me. Well, Kim coming to college, there was no financial support. And that was not my expectation. I did not expect her to pay or help me with anything financially in college. But once I stepped into the college like ring, I was on my own. I had to, get the scholarships, had to get the grants on my own. I solely financially supported myself. Well, where my family has came though, they kind of been that, I guess, kind of pillow or like, kind of a net, like keep me on track if I ever fell out. So for me personally, it's not financially. For me, it's more of like emotionally and just like being that mental support, being like cooking me like a meal every weekend and just bringing it to the dorm for me, or just letting me know that, hey, whatever happens, you just come home, relax, chill out for a weekend, and go right back to it. It's that like mental and emotional support. So that's just the biggest for me. Wasn't financial at all. It was more of just, always having somebody in your back no matter what.
I could just chime in real quick just from you saying that, because myself being a staff that works here, I too am a first generation student, and kind of like Kelly said, like when I came, I guess I didn't even know that was a thing, and like you're saying, Noah, like my family, they weren't able to help me. I had to work full time to be able to go to college. My family was doing like a summer yard sale right before my freshman year here, just to try to raise as much money as we could to try to help me. But like you're saying, I don't even think they thought about it. You know what I mean? But I feel like for me coming in, that kind of made it a little bit of a challenge for me. Like my first year, I didn't do anything. I wasn't engaged. I didn't go anywhere. I wasn't talking to students. Like I was working. I was trying to work, go to class. You know what I mean? I had to make my own ends meet, kind of like you're saying. But don't let that discourage you, things like that. Like, that's why I really love having the Impact House, Gen 1, all those resources, because there definitely is opportunity for you to grow. I even heard you all saying, like, how you are now, like, entertaining grad school and things like that. Like, I don't know if you were thinking about that before you came here, but, like, those are just success stories. Like, when I was hearing you say that earlier, I was just getting really excited. Like, this is why we do this kind of work. But even still, like I said, my first year, I didn't do anything. So it wasn't until my second year. I mean, at a point in time, I was like, is this really what I want to do? Like, I want to quit, but I just kind of went in head first and stuck to it, and then now I work here. I love UC, so I just think that's great.
Yeah, and it's good to hear that relatability across generations, across, ages, whatever it may be. I myself I'm a first generation grad myself, and I didn't have that support system that we say because they didn't know. My mom said, I want to take out a loan just to help you with some other stuff. I'm like, Mom, I don't need that. I need, it was more of them just supporting us mentally and saying that I have your back and things of that nature. But if I had this Gen 1 program my first year, I would have loved it, and it would have been that family orientation that I needed away from home. This is just a phenomenal program where you can see everybody is coming from a similar background, with not having someone who's been to college and not even knowing about college and what's the next steps. My first year was kind of terrible. I didn't make it through my first school. I had to transfer school because I had no clue what I was going through, what I was doing. I didn't even know I was going to college until I started getting recruited for basketball. Like, so, no one told me, my family, they just went, okay, graduate high school, get your job. That's what was on our plan, our mind. Not going to college, not going to, getting another degree after that. And now I'm the first in my family to have my master's, and it's just like, I'm ready to go get my doctorate. So it's very fun, just very pleasing to yourself. And then to have the back of others that's in a similar way, just having that backbone with them outside of your immediate family.
Can I chime in too, just with that parent lens on it, as far as how parents can support Gen 1 students? A lot of parents, from what we hear from our students, is that they just don't know how to support. Obviously there are stories where students are doing it on their own, but there are plenty of stories where parents are actively involved. They just don't know how to support, and they don't have the resources to support financially. So, advice I'd give to parents who are looking for ways they can be supportive to their first gen student is just, like Brandon said, be present, tell them that you're there and that they're working hard and you support them. being there and you're proud of them, you know, ask them, just simply ask them, how can I support you? What can I do? Being transparent with the fact that maybe you don't have all the answers, but you want to do your best. And, you know, educating yourself too is taking those steps to learn more about the university, learn more about resources on campus, browsing our website, looking across departments, just so you can maybe learn with them and kind of be there with them to help be a sounding board, to help, you know, brainstorm ideas, or say, hey, you know, I know you were talking about going to grad school. I found this program on the website, you know, and so you don't have to act like you have all the answers, but letting them know you care and being transparent in that you're willing to learn and go through this journey with them, I think would be really important.
Thank you for that, Amber. I was going to add that there have been numerous research studies also on what helps students persist and stick with it and make it to graduation. And one of the top factors, and often the top factor depending on the study, is that family encouragement, friend encouragement, you know, the people who matter to you telling you that you can do it and encouraging you every step of the way. And that has nothing to do with financial support. It's all about someone supporting you and being that champion for you every day. So that is so important. And that's something that we do in our office, which I didn't really talk too much about earlier. But we work with families throughout the time that your student is here, before they get here, while they're here, after they have graduated. We're here to help in any way. And we want to help families figure out the best way to support their students. So we, you know, have lots of different opportunities for you to learn more about UC, what is happening here, what are resources for your student, chances for you to be part of campus. You know, this is your home too, not just your students. So really, you're always welcome to reach out to us at any point for support along the way. So I want to ask one more question and kind of close us out because we're right at an hour. So this is for the staff. So there are many of you here who attended UC, yourselves, several of you with multiple degrees, and now you're here as staff. So clearly there seems to be something about UC that keeps you coming back for more. So can you speak a little bit to what is it about UC that keeps you here and made you want to stay here and continue to impact more students' lives?
I can say just very quickly, what I appreciate the most about UC, or one of the things I appreciate the most, is just I love the diversity of the students that I get to work with and the people that I work with and the openness and the constant learning that happens here. I think where I went to undergrad was not at all like UC was, and that was one of the reasons why I decided to get my master's at UC. I wasn't working here at that time, but I wanted a bigger, more open, more like a place that was reflective of the world, and I feel like UC gave me that as a student, and it certainly continues to give that to me as a staff member here as well.
I can go next. For me, one of my favorite quotes is "Jack of all trades, master of none." And I didn't want to say that last part, master of none, because I don't think that that's truly reflective of the University of Cincinnati, because our engineer program, our DAP program, we have many, our MBA program. I mean, there are several programs here that are top in the nation. So we are certainly doing things really well. But one of my favorite parts about UC is just there are so many great things across a lot of different areas on campus, as far as academics, as far as extracurricular, as far as athletics, as far as, getting involved in other ways. So, that for me, the campus life, and when I stepped foot on this campus, I just thought there was so much character and many different areas that just had so much to offer. And so for me, kind of living my life feeling like I'm the Jill of all trades, but in my eyes, the master of none. But that resonated so much with me when I stepped foot on this campus, and I was like, this is just such a well-rounded university. So many things that are great about it, and that was what kind of solidified it for me. And then I started and never stopped. So here I am.
Mine is kind of like yours, Amber, the same way. When I came here, I knew this is where I want to be. I've been here ever since that moment. So I came to UC in 2008. And here I am still here. But I think it really is just that innovative thinking and forward thinking, really, and that there really is something for everybody here. So there's plenty of opportunity to grow, and even me sharing my own experience on how I came and to now be in a position to basically use everything I'm learning and be able to pour that back into students. That's why I'm still here. Just because I want students to be successful. And again, I know what I didn't have. I know what research sources that I wasn't aware of and things like that. So I really just try to take everything that I can and like soak it up and just pour it back into students to make you all be as successful as possible for your own success and your family's success as well.
And I'm a Cincinnati kid, so I love to give back to my city. And you know, seeing the students, it's just gratifying to see the students succeed. And that's my passion, is to give back to students and to give back to the next generation to, you know, help lead and guide them to success.
All right. Well, thank you so much for all of the words of wisdom and information that you shared today. And Carrington and Noah, especially, thanks so much for joining us and talking with families today. We appreciate your time. And families, you can absolutely reach out to any of us anytime. The contact information is there in the chat. You can also find all of us on the web. And if you're ever trying to find someone and you're not quite sure who you need to reach out to, you can always call Parent and Family Programs and we can help you get that information. And you can reach us at families@uc.edu or 513-556-1200. So we look forward to getting to know you over the next several years. And please don't hesitate to reach out if we can help you in any way. Thanks again.